Today we're talking story and how to apply it to all of your videos. What's going on, everyone? So today I want to talk about story. For the last couple of years, I feel like people really overused the idea of story, the value of story, and it's become this thing where it felt like every video on YouTube had to have this story structure that was huge and big, even if it was something simple like a travel film. The reality is, there's somewhere in the middle that's appropriate. Thinking about, day-to-day shooting or travel films, vlogs, anything you're doing that's not necessarily like a narrative film or like a short film or something like that, you need to still have a story, but it doesn't need to be something that you overthink. It can be very simple. So where can you apply this basic structure of story that I'm going to share? You can apply it to travel films, vlogs, wedding films, company promos, corporate work, anything that you're making. You can apply this basic structure to. And it's super simple. Are you ready? Get a pen, get something to write with, get your notes app out on your phone, something, because here it goes. 3 things you need to consider with your story. 1, you need to establish a problem or a challenge. It doesn't have to be a big, epic thing. The problem can be as simple as, I can't find my keys. Then you want to showcase the journey, trying to solve that particular problem or challenge. In the case of my lost keys, the journey is going to be looking all over my office to find those keys. And then you're going to have a climax of that journey to where they've either succeeded or failed. So it's this moment as they're going through their journey, they reach this kind of peak point where, again, in the case of my keys, I've looked everywhere. There's one last place they could be. Are they there? At that moment, that's when there's the most tension in the story, right? It's right before that climax. And when that climax happens, that's when you see in a lot of movies, they typically go towards success, resolve. They fix the problem or challenge. But you can also get creative. You've probably seen movies where at the end of the movie, they fail and it doesn't work and it ends on more of like a sad note. So again, going with my basic example of lost keys, I've lost my keys. That's the problem or the challenge. The journey is that I'm going through everywhere in my office trying to find those keys. I've looked everywhere. There's one last place they could be. There's my climax. I lift up the bag and there are no keys there. Failure. Didn't have those keys. That is a basic story. Now that same story, lost the keys, journey looking through the office trying to find them, last possible place, lift up the bag, there's the keys, success, everybody's happy, I found them, and the video's over. So that's it, okay? So just think of it like this. Establish the problem or challenge, show the journey trying to solve that problem or challenge, and then did it succeed or not at that climax point. That's all you have to do. And again, that sounds really big, establishing problems and challenges and journeys, and it doesn't have to be a quest. It can be very simple. Think of this in micro stories for your videos. And I'm using the word challenge along with problem because it doesn't have to be a bad thing. I made an edit for a taco truck company, and let's just say the challenge there is that there's no tacos made yet, and they're going to make the tacos. So that's not necessarily a problem. It's just a challenge that has to happen. Somebody needs to build those tacos. And the video is going to be the journey of that person building those tacos. And then the climax is seeing that final product, right? It's seeing that beautiful finished taco. So it doesn't always have to be a problem or this big deal. So I'm going to use a video that I made a couple of years ago of my son on a trampoline to kind of explain and showcase how this can play out. The footage from the video was actually just the first thing I had ever shot with my Sony a7S II when I first got it, which has been a long time ago now. So I'm gonna walk you through this video and show you how I took random clips of my son playing on a trampoline, and instead of just showing a bunch of clips and saying test, I was able to kind of craft a story out of this footage. So one important note here is that when I was shooting these shots, I wasn't thinking of this story ahead of time. Now that's ideal. If you can think of the story ahead of time, this is going to speed up your edit. When I went out to go shoot these shots, it was really just testing out shooting in log and a few other things and seeing what the camera looked like. So this story was actually created in post after the fact, just using the shots that I had. But it's a good example on how adding a little bit of story can make a video more interesting. So the title of this video, I ended up calling it No Escape. And again, this is my, at the time, 2-year-old son playing on our trampoline in our backyard. So we open up the video, the music sets the tone that this is gonna be a bit more of like a dramatic piece or a serious piece or whatever. The basic story structure I went with was that it started out, everything was cool. He was having fun playing on this trampoline. He realizes that he's stuck, that he's trapped in this trampoline in this big net and he can't get out. And that moment when he realizes he's stuck, that is our problem. That's our challenge. The challenge is, what is he gonna do? How is he gonna get out of here? He's gotta get out now. The next set of clips is gonna be the journey. So now he's starting to problem solve. How do I get out of here? What can I do? He's battling. Does he feel good about this, bad about this? He's not sure what to do. And then he's got a bag, which is actually just my camera bag at the time. And it looks like now he's trying to pull out tools and how do I get out of here? You know, there's a shot of him where he's kind of going like this with his hands and he's realizing how much of an issue this is and he can't get out. And then we're approaching the climax. He's found one last place to look, and it's where that zipper is on the trampoline. Well, he realizes the zipper's on the outside and he can't pull it up. So I went with failure instead of success. So he can't get out. And the next clip is actually him falling over as to say he's giving up. And so this ends on a sad note. And again, this is a really over the top example, but I want to show you guys that you can do this with anything. I mean, all of these shots took place on the trampoline with my 2-year-old son, and I wasn't even thinking of this story when I shot it. But had I just put a bunch of clips together, it would have maybe not had been as interesting. And when you watch the video, you might not even register this story in your mind, and that's okay. I know there's the story there, and it makes it feel more like a journey in the video. So one last time to reiterate, you want to establish a problem or a challenge. You want to showcase that journey trying to solve that problem or challenge. And then you want to have that climax point where there's the most tension and are they going to succeed or fail? And then you want to show, did they succeed or did they fail? All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Super simple. Apply this to all your videos. If you liked the video, please feel free to give it a like. Really helps the channel grow. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.